opportunities that lie ahead for you. And we want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. And so you are always invited back. We would welcome your visits. Please stay in touch and let us know all the good things that you're doing. Use social media to keep us informed, and we look forward to the time in which our paths will once again cross. So welcome and congratulations, and enjoy this day of celebration.
Thank you, Ken. Our next speaker is a faculty speaker. He's an assistant professor here at UND, and I am excited to hear Craig Burns share some of his passion.
So I had some brief remarks written up, but I'd like to thank Barb and Dr. Flanagan for taking half my speech. So they cut it down significantly. And those that know me know if there's no coffee present, then something's wrong in the order of the universe. Congratulations, all of you. Good work. So, welcome. Okay, is this okay, Carol? Am I being picked up? Can I raise it up? Can I take it off? Hey, all right. Yeah, now we can do like an improv thing. Anyway, congratulations. Good job. So for all the support in the back, can we hear it for the graduates? Thank you. So I want to, all right, okay. So I want to welcome the graduates, welcome their family, friends, loved ones. Welcome to the faculty members that guided them on their journey to today and this afternoon. They packed your day full, didn't they? What you've done is an incredible accomplishment. So reaching this point required dedication and sacrifice, not just from the individuals sitting up here, but from everyone in the room. So you've had to go through the late nights, the lack of sleep, I've got a paper so I can't do the dishes or clean right now. You got to take care of it. Listening to the rant, supporting the tearful moments, and convincing the graduate to stick it out when they felt like they were just barely treading water. So thank you. So graduates, no demure applause, but make some noise for your support systems, please. Today's a day of celebration. I moved here from Guam. I'm a rookie, so I got on the starting lineup my first year. Thank you. But you know, I'm from the islands, and we make a little more noise. I don't know if this is Midwestern, you know, calmness, but make the noise that your support system deserves. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Come on, island style, yeah? Okay, but on a less serious note, the light at the end of the tunnel, you're there. Those of you who are joining us in about 3 weeks to begin your master's program, you're going back into another tunnel, but we'll be there with you. And there is a light at the end of that one too. So enjoy your 3 weeks in the light, in the sun. Get your vitamin D replenished before you dive back into it. And we look forward to seeing you in about 3 weeks. So you've reached a milestone fewer than 30% of Americans reached, in that you have a bachelor's degree. So that's not an insignificant accomplishment. More than that, you have a degree in social work. And I'm trying to stick to my script. I'm looking at my son sticking his tongue out here. So you have a degree in social work. Welcome to the family. Because that's what social work is, more than a profession. It's a family. You're going to run into people later. Even though there are hundreds of thousands of practicing social workers in the United States and around the world, it's not a large profession. You run into each other at meetings. You'll run into each other at conferences. You'll just run into each other. So the road you've chosen will have its challenges. It will not always be comfortable or easy. I can assure you, however, it will be rewarding and it will be worthwhile. As a social worker, it's important to keep perspective, maintain a sense of humor, and take the time to take care of yourself and those you love. If you do this, you will be okay. Promise. You'll remember the family you helped get housing and food. You remember the ones you helped, the ones that you saved, and the ones that saved you. You'll also remember being cussed out, spit at, blamed for everything, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But the good will always outweigh the bad, always. You've chosen the higher path, chosen to believe that the world can be better, that people can heal, that we can make tomorrow better than today, and today better than yesterday. So I thank each of you for making that choice. As Robert Frost wrote, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So in your life and in your profession, take the road less traveled by. You're entering the profession of social work at a vital time. Many of you think you'll be going into micro practice, but if you haven't figured out by now or haven't taken one of my classes or spent any time in my office, you know, there is no micro practice, there's no macro practice, there's no meso practice. There's social work. You've learned to see the person in their environment, to understand how the environment impacts and influences the individual, and how the individual affects their environment. You've learned systems theory, critical race theory, had in-depth discussions in class on intersectionality. You've come to understand how what seems a simple choice or a minuscule policy tweak can lead to an unexpected social tsunami down the road. What other professional degree prepares you to understand the complexity and innuendo of context in the world around you? What other degree challenges you to plumb the depths of your own life, to teach you that until you understand yourself, you cannot approach an understanding of, much less help others? You leave here today with a deeper, broader, and clearer understanding of not only yourself, but of how intricately, amazingly, and beautifully interconnected each one of us is to the other 7 billion plus people surviving on this planet. Self-care is important. I know we say it over and over again, self-care, 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 self-care. But it's important. Injustice does not rest. Lost my space. I was on a good roll there, right? Injustice doesn't rest. Trauma doesn't impact people and communities at our convenience or on a 9-to-5 schedule. We can't fight if we don't have any fight left. So take care of yourself, take care of those you love, but never forget the struggle will still be there in the morning. The problems we face as a community, state, nation, and species are greater than those we've ever faced before. Social workers, all of us, regardless of where we're at in our careers, are uniquely positioned due to our education and training to take on positions of leadership at all levels, public and private. So, Brett, run for office, right? To support and lead us to a society that recognizes the humanity of all human beings without exception. As a nation, we're on a slippery slope to an incredibly frightening and dark place. America, as we enter the 3rd decade of the 21st century, is reflecting politics of a century ago. When we met you, you were idealistic, energized students. So I hope as you go forth, you've maintained the idealistic. So we release you into the world, newly minted social workers. I hope you've maintained that idealistic spirit. You may not be as energized. You might be a little tired. But again, refresh and come back ready to do it. I hope you're still charging forward to change the world, as so many wanted to do that first day of class, but now with the skills to realize that vision and make it real. So we don't need to be great again, we just need to be better than we were yesterday. I'm placing my trust in each of you that you'll succeed in helping make that happen. So I want to finish with 2 quotes that have been instrumental in my journey as a social worker and in keeping me motivated. When I start to feel overwhelmed, I turn to these words to give me some perspective, to re-energize me and remind me why I got into this work in the first place. And they're in my office for me to see every day. The first is from Pastor Martin Niemöller from a speech given after World War II. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And the second is from America's punk poet laureate, Henry Rollins. No such thing as spare time, no such thing as free time, no such thing as downtime. All you got is lifetime. Go.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't raise this a whole lot, huh? Our next speaker is from the distance cohort, and I would like to welcome Jasmine Vasicek up to share some words from a student perspective.
Good morning, everyone. The only time I've ever felt tall. All right. So I believe I'm the only one here on behalf of the distance students, but thank you all for being here. This morning, I just want to share briefly with you my experience of being an online student, qualities that make for a good social worker, and give thanks to all who have supported the student in their life. When I decided to go back to school to become a social worker, I knew right away I wanted to attend UND for a few reasons. I previously graduated from UND in 2016. And over the course of my first 4 years here, everything just seemed to go smoothly. I had great professors, and since I'd already been a student, I was hopeful that I wouldn't struggle with credits transferring and all that stuff. Excuse me, I currently live in Fargo. So I was brainstorming, how can I drive back and forth, go to school on campus? I quickly realized that was a pretty crazy idea. And so I looked into UND's online social work program. Thinking back on myself, 18 to 21 years old, there was no chance I would have considered doing a primarily online program. But I stand before you now because I chose to enroll in this program, and it was better than I could have imagined. I became part of a diverse group of students with an amazing amount of academic experiences, professional experiences, and personal experiences. In June, UND's online social work program was ranked number 2 out of 25 of the best online bachelor's in social work degree programs. That level of achievement, I think, speaks volumes of this program and how well prepared students are to enter into the career field after graduation. This program allows for students to obtain their degree from near or far. It allows for flexibility to be with your family, learn from the comfort of your own home, and maintain a full-time job, and still make lasting connections with your classmates. As we go forward to obtain our social work license, find a new job, work towards a master's degree, or bring fresh new ideas to our current place of employment, there are a few things that I feel we all have in common, online or on campus. We're driven. We're driven to achieve our own versions of success. We are driven to share our thoughts and ideas with those around us. We are driven to stand up for what we believe is right, and we are driven to take action. On behalf of the online class of 2019, I want to thank each and every professor that contributed to our education. Because of you all, we're able to set forth on a road of success. Thank you to all of our friends and family members. Without the support of those closest to us, the homework assignments, the late nights, and the chapters of reading would have seemed impossible. Thank you to my classmates and those who have welcomed me over the summer. Your willingness to share your thoughts, ideas, and experiences made for a very valuable classroom experience. My final thank you is for all who are here today or listening from afar. Your support means more to these future social workers than getting those progress notes completed on time. And I think it's a social work theme that we all love a good inspirational quote, it seems like. So the one I want to share is from Dr. Seuss, and I feel like it was fitting for this day. Almost every successful person begins with two beliefs. The future can be better than the present, and I have the power to make it so. Thank you.
Thanks, Jasmine. Our campus speaker today is Mara Farguson, and she's going to share some inspiration for you as well.
All right, thank you, Barb. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to speak to all of you today. It's truly an honor to be chosen by all of you, my peers, to speak at this ceremony. I want to start by thanking everybody here today, to our teachers for their guidance and wisdom on our academic journeys, to members of my cohort for their support, humor, and camaraderie, and to my family for all of their loving support over the last 4 years. And more than that, but specifically the last 4 years. When I look around this room today, I see many things. I see amazing people that I've been fortunate to be surrounded with over the past 4 years. I see a community made up of caring, kind, intelligent people who are all dedicated to the idea that this world can be a better place. Most of all, I see hope. Hope for the future of our world. All of the people who sit in front of me today have made sacrifices and worked very hard to earn this degree because something in them told them they could be an agent for change. Whether that means changing the world for one person, changing the world for communities, or changing the world in a major way, by pursuing this degree, we have all chosen to tap into whatever it is that lies within us that calls us to make things better. As many of you know, I have a background in theater. To me, theater is a powerful medium that can work to evoke many feelings. I'm currently majorly obsessed with a musical called Hadestown, which is a modern and powerful retelling of the Greek tragedy of Orpheus and Eurydice. It's by singer-songwriter Aeneas Mitchell. So I will perform the entire thing for you right now today. No, I'm just kidding. Although I really could. One of my favorite lines from the piece really speaks to the core of my soul, of who I am as a person. And I would like to share it with all of you today, as I believe it speaks to the heart of all that we have done and all that we will do as social workers moving forward. The line is, Orpheus was a poor boy, but he had a gift to give. He could make you see what the world could be in spite of the way that it is. So let me repeat that last part. He could make you see what the world could be in spite of the way that it is. We live in some truly dark times in many ways. Our society is extremely divided. Gun violence and mass shootings have gotten so prolific that we are nearly becoming desensitized to them. We have a massive human rights crisis at our border. People are falling through the cracks in so many different ways, and when you sit down and really think of all the hurt and pain in this world, it can be difficult to keep a hopeful perspective. When you look at how terrible things are, it can be hard to see how you, as just one person, can really make a positive change in the world. But as future social workers, we have something inside of us that we share with Orpheus. We see how the world could be in spite of the way that it is. We can see the injustice and inequity present in this world and use it as fuel for our passion to set things right. Instead of getting disheartened by the darkness around us, we have the power to find the light within ourselves to shine in the darkness. This powerful light we all hold is innately within us. It can't be taught. This light is what brought us all here today and helped us through all the work we completed to get to this point. It is the light that will guide us as we go out into the world as brand new social workers, and it is the light that people we want to help will be drawn to. Social work is not easy, and there are many times that we will feel our light dimming. I'm sure many of us have felt that throughout our time at UND, times that we felt like we just couldn't do it. Social stats. Times we felt too small to make a difference, times where we just wanted to give up. But you guys, you didn't. We didn't. We are celebrating here today because we didn't let anything put out our light. We kept our light going despite all that we were up against. As professional social workers in the field, there are many awful things we will come up against. But like Orpheus, we have the ability to see how the world could be in spite of the way that it is. I encourage all of us to get outraged, get mad, get feisty, turn that fiery anger into passion and use that passion as fuel to propel yourself and just keep going. But like many of our professors have made clear to all of us throughout our time here, you also have to take care of yourself so you can keep fighting the good fight. Protect that light inside of you in whatever way you can, because that light is the most valuable asset you have. In her landmark piece, A Burst of Light, queer feminist author and activist Audre Lorde put this in the best possible way. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. Self-care is warfare. That's really powerful stuff. Last spring, when I took Angie's class, I remember taking a pop quiz at the beginning of the class. After we turned it in, Angie asked us what we did for self-care. I distinctly remember laughing out loud, which no one else did, so it was really awkward. Yeah, I worked the entire time I was in school. I have 3 amazing kids. One of my kids was actually born halfway through my time here in the social work program. I've balanced work demands, family responsibilities, and my schoolwork. I look back on the last 4 years and feel a dizzying mixture of pride combined with a sense of what the hell just happened. I'm sure many of you can relate, as all of you judged many things as well. Juggled, many things. But Angie and Audra are absolutely correct. We can't help others if we're struggling ourselves. It can be really hard to allow yourself to make self-care a priority, especially when you feel so strongly called to take care of others. So here's your permission. As your friend and as your peer, I'm giving you permission to take care of yourself. Do whatever you need to do to keep your light shining, and encourage your peers, friends, and colleagues to do the same. As the incredible Lizzo so wonderfully states, if I'm shiny, everybody gonna shine. Listen to yourself, trust yourself, take care of yourself because you're amazing. I truly can't wait to see all of the wonderful things this group of people will accomplish in the coming years. As a cohort, we have all come such a long way since sitting in our intro classes. I feel honored to have spent time in classes with all of you, listening to your passion for the populations you want to work with and the issues you want to solve. I've learned so much from all of you, and it makes me feel happy to know that people like you are heading out in the world to fight the good fight. I also want to thank our faculty for all they have done for our cohort throughout our time at UND and for all they've done for me personally as well. To Jackie, thank you for listening to me complain, for caring about me as a person, and for always being so encouraging. To Bruce, thank you for taking time to talk with me about the program and giving me the nudge I needed to get back into school. To Stephanie, thank you for patiently answering all of my emails. To Craig, thank you for reading all of my journals, complaining about white male privilege. To Angie, thank you for your kind heart and for the delicious samosas. They were really good. To Barb, thank you for your grace and understanding. To Brett, thank you for putting up with me all summer and for all of the wonderful, challenging discussions. And to Karen Lee, thank you for your honesty, your support, and for helping me see something in myself that I didn't realize was there. I also want to take a moment to thank my husband, John, for his steadfast love and support over all of these years. We've been together for literally half of our lives, and together we faced some big challenges over the past 4 years. His love is truly my rock, and I'm a better person with him in my corner. Thank you. I promise you guys I will stop talking soon, but I really can't step away from this microphone without leaving you with some powerful words from one of the most beautiful people to ever have graced this earth. A person whose charisma, moxie, and wisdom inspires me to no end and truly means the world to me. So I leave you today with the words of the great RuPaul, Andre Charles. I have one thing to say, you better work. Thank you.
All right, now we're on to the pinning ceremony. This is a really informal ceremony, and what we would like is if you want to come down and take pictures of your graduate as they are awarded their pin by their advisor, you certainly can, and we would encourage that. So I'm going to ask the faculty to come up and stand, well, I guess right here. Yeah. And then we will I will announce the student and their field placement agency, and their advisor will provide them with their pin. Oh, thank you for taking care of me.
You're welcome.
Okay, so like I said, this is informal, so if you want to come closer, go ahead and feel free to do that. So we are going to go ahead and start with the first graduate, Kayla Azure. Her placement was at Rolette County Social Services, and her advisor is Jackie Hoffart. Yes. Congratulations. Go down and be welcomed into the profession by all the faculty. The next graduate is Allison Bartlett, who is at Lakes Social Services District, and Ken Flanagan is her advisor. Our next graduate is Nicole Brandt. She was at Riverview Recovery Center, and Angie Muse is her advisor. Trying to figure out how to best do that. Our next graduate would be Ashley Coles. She was at Lakes and Prairie Community Action, and Stephanie Homestead is her advisor. Sherry Cody was at YMCA Cass Clay, and Stephanie is going to be pinning her. Her advisor was Yi Ping Shea. Rachel Dahl is our next graduate. She was at Riverview Recovery, and Angie Muse was her advisor. Mara Ferguson was placed at the City of Grand Forks, and Stephanie Homestead is her advisor. Roberta Hassett is our next graduate, and she was at Fargo Cass Public Health, and Craig Burns is her advisor. You get a walk. Yep. All right. Our next graduate is Stephanie Nguyen, and she was at Altru Health System Social Work Department, and Isaac Kakari is her advisor, and I will pin her. All right. Kenzie Lanou is our next graduate, and she was at Benedictine Living Community of Wahpeton, and Brett Weber is her advisor. Okay. Our next student is Rebecca Missu, and she was at Spirit Lakes Tribal Social Services, and Jackie Hoffarth is her advisor. Congratulations. Our next graduate is Jacob Pomasino, and he was at Cass County State's Attorney, and Jackie Hoffarth is his advisor. All right, our next graduate is Rebecca Potnode, and she was at Grand Forks Housing Authority, and Stephanie Homestead is her advisor. Our next graduate is Kimberly Pithy. She was at Grand Forks County Juvenile Court Services, and Barbara Kramer is her advisor. And she's not with us today. She's on her way out of town, moving. Sarah Reddig is our next graduate, and she's at UND Trio Programs. And Kelly Gast is her advisor, but Angie Muse is going to pin her. Our next graduate is Megan Severson. She was at North Dakota Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Yiping Shea is her advisor, but Jackie Hoffarth is going to be pinning her. Thank you. Ellen Slagle is our next housing, and Brett Weber is her advisor. Jamie St. Clair is our next graduate, and she's at Seven Stones Generation, and Jackie Hoffarth is her advisor. Sarah Van Epps is our next graduate. She's a distance student from Pleasant Manor, or her internship was at Pleasant Manor, and Barbara Kramer is her advisor. Jamie Vasicek is the next graduate. She was at Southeast Human Service Center. Yiping Shea is her advisor, and Stephanie Homestead is going to be pinning her. Our next graduate is Maria Vormastrand, and she was at Spirit Lakes Tribal Social Services. Stephanie Homestead is her advisor. Our next graduate is Greta Wadsworth. She was at Thrive Behavioral Network, and I was her advisor. Last but not least, Jeffrey Widener, I've been pronouncing his name wrong for his entire time in the program, was at Red Lake Family and Children's Services, and Brett Weber is his advisor. All right. We are, first of all, thank you for joining us. This is a new venue for us, and so I will work out the kinks. And so thank you for bearing with that with us. We are we have some light refreshments out in the atrium. We also would like to take a picture of the students out, I believe, in the atrium, maybe on the steps would be the best spot for that. I want to end with a quote. Obviously, we're all into quotes today. One that I know you've all heard: be the change you wish to see in the world. So go out now and be change agents, and welcome to the profession. So the refreshments are right out there. I'll have the students all go up and maybe be on the steps up in, unless there's another spot. Yes. Yes. And as family members, if you want to take a picture as well, you certainly can.